Dennis Campbell, president of Ambassatours Gray Line, joins us on the Children's Clean Air Network with the Idle Free Guy. Welcome, Dennis.
Thanks, Ron. Hi.
The company has been on a mission to cut fuel consumption and emissions with the Idle Free for Our Kids formula since 2009.
That's correct.
We've saved tons of fuel, tons of emissions, earned green public relations, about $60,000 in fuel saved in 2 years. Did a little calculating. That's about 162 tons of CO2, which is equivalent to the weight of 6 MCI J4500 motor coaches.
Yeah.
Why do you think Idle Free for Our Kids is working?
Well, it's working because we're saving money, but it's working because we have approached it for an integrated approach, training our drivers and providing an incentive and measuring the results. It's a whole journey on the way to success, and I don't know that we'll ever be 100% perfect, but the fact that we are where we're at today is very pleasing.
The general public may not be aware of the active, some might even say aggressive, leadership of the motor coach tour industry on going green. The Go Green, Go Coach, Go MCI campaign by Motor Coach Industries is an example. The United Motor Coach Association and American Bus Association both have strong messaging and strategies around going green. How important, in your view, is this green shift in your industry, and why?
It's extremely important. It's important because, it's our responsibility as stewards. We're all stewards of the environment, and, we have the potential to affect change, make a difference, lead by example, and that's what we're doing. And by doing this, and we're not the first, but we're one of the early adopters. Together we learn from each other, and as an industry we become much, much better. It's good for the next generation.
If you were talking to another coach operator about the benefits of a formula that pulls drivers and the public on side like Idle Free for Our Kids, what would you say to them?
I'd say, you got to do it. It's absolutely a no-brainer. Not that there isn't some work involved. It takes time. It's a process. But, the good that comes from it is very well worth it. And in this day and age, it's, in my opinion, it's absolutely what everyone should do. And it would be, I think, irresponsible not to make this effort, to try to cut emissions. That's not responsible to the community, it's not responsible to the environment, and it's not responsible to your bottom line. So, again, it's a must-do.
Robert Gillis, driver training and fleet safety, tells us that the motor coach industry has an added challenge over, say, the likes of the trucking industry because you're transporting passengers. Passenger comfort is important, which used to mean running the engine to keep them warm on cold days and cool on hot days, yet drivers and passengers seem to be on board. It seems like doing this for our kids is providing that little extra bit of inspiration. Who can say no?
Well, you said it. I mean, who can say no? Some will. We have been, I think, on the sidelines watching and waiting and seeing. But I think what's happening now is that there's enough groundswell that, I think the industry peer pressure will soon be, if it's not now, such that there will be, complete groundswell, and it would be abnormal not to get involved in such a great program.
You're the father of 2 wonderful kids. They've learned a lot about going green in school. What sort of impact is what kids are learning today having on the public and passenger expectations as we go forward?
Well, it's interesting. It was my kids who started to suggest to me that I should be idle-free. They had learned about it at school. They had started asking me, Dad, why are you leaving the car idling? And I didn't even notice it. Thought to myself, wow, they're right. I need to change this. And so it was from that really got my interest, because I thought they're absolutely right. It's amazing what you can learn from your kids, and started to implement it in our company. I thought, wow, it's amazing what you can learn from your kids. So kids are a great draw in terms of helping people understand why this is important. So our drivers, they're all fathers or grandfathers, uncles. So most of them all have relations to kids. So, it's the pull is better than the push. This is good for multi-generations. When you associate this program with future generations and with kids, it's easy to understand the importance of, and it's so easy to do. And again, there is a balancing with passenger comfort, but that balancing is easily achieved with common sense. And so instead of running the bus for 20 minutes before you pick up a group on a hot day, maybe you might run it for 5 minutes. The systems today are so efficient that they cool down the coaches quicker. In the wintertime, they warm up the coaches quicker. Again, common sense goes a long way.
The company has GPS. You can track virtually every metric on how the unit is operated today, including idle time and speed. Yet driver training and inspiration appear to be the most important factor in controlling these behaviors. Why is inspiration instead of perspiration, say, the big stick, a better strategy for operators, do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question, and the reality is we're all human. No one likes to be really told what to do. People like to, be part of a solution, and that's the way we've explained it to our drivers, is to say that it's a team effort. By offering an incentive and explaining the important results, idle free, we've got them on side. And I've talked to other companies actually some trucking companies who have done more of the push, and the push doesn't work as well as the pull. It's human nature. So I believe from our experience that we're all far better, take that approach of inclusiveness, asking people to come on board the idle free program rather than telling them to. That's the thing that we found with this program, is that there are benefits beyond what we originally thought there would be, and including just generally us feeling good and better about what we do. Another example that's kind of interesting is, a few weeks ago I was speaking with one of the local city councilors, and I was asking for her help on a challenge we were having with the city. And, she brought up the point that she'd be happy to help us, and how impressed she was with the fact that we're part of an idle-free program, and hats off to us. And after the conversation, it dawned on me, like, it never occurred to me that the idle-free would actually be effective just from a political point of view. And so that was a really, really terrific thing.
From 2009, we've been able to cut up to 75% of the idle time at Ambassatours Gray Line, $60,000 in fuel, 162 tons of emissions, thereabouts, earned valuable green public relations, possibly kept the doors open at City Hall, as you've described. How difficult would it have been to do this without a formula like Idle Free for our kids?
I suppose it would have been possible, but I don't think we would have been able to do it as easily, as effectively, as quickly. The reality is, it's the Idle Free for our kids has become a brand, a very strong brand, a very visual brand. And as we all know, brands are very effective. And, that coupled with the fact that having an outside speaker come in and put it into perspective for everyone, that went a long way as well. So I'm sure it's possible outside of Idle Free for our kids, but I can't say strongly enough how much I recommend Idle Free for our kids. It works. So it's a lot easier, I think, with it than without it.
I want to congratulate you and the company being awarded the Eco-Efficiency Award from Dalhousie University last summer in front of business and community. How did that feel?
That felt great. I accepted the award on behalf of all of our drivers and our whole team. And it felt really good because it's like, okay, the community recognizes that we're doing something good. And I mean, let's face it, bus travel is already really good environmentally compared to all those people taking cars, or even half the people taking cars. Buses are so much more effective to begin with. Still, they have big engines. They can be big polluters if you let them run all the time. We're taking it to what we feel is the maximum efficiency for the environment, for ourselves, and for the community. So, yeah, it felt great.
That's great. Let's talk about the Idle Free for Our Kids bus at the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. Could you tell us a little bit more about that story?
Sure. We were hired to have 13 of our buses out at the Olympics. We carried all of the hockey teams from around the world, and we sent the Idle Free for Our Kids bus out there with the great big huge wrap of Rachel and the Idle Free campaign. It was definitely well noticed. It was we had people who were out there to tell us they saw it. We even spotted it on TV a couple of times.
The Olympic Committee seemed taken by the concept.
The Olympic Committee had very stringent rules, regulations about what could be on the buses that went out there. And in fact, they were very clear that no logos or sponsors of any type would be on any buses other than the bus company logos. Because of the Idle Free with its whole campaign and actually a number of corporate sponsors on the bus itself that support the Idle Free campaign, we asked them if they would consider making an exception, and we didn't think they would, but absolutely they did. They wanted to see a photo of the bus, so we sent them a photo of the bus. They saw it, they liked it, they said, this is a feel-good, so sure, let's do it. So, those sponsors that were on that bus, they had absolutely very, very special placement and coverage that was otherwise unavailable.
Dennis Campbell, president of Ambassatours Gray Line, thanks so much for being with us on the Children's Clean Air Network with the Idle Free Guy.
Great talking to you, and great being part of the campaign, and I look forward to seeing the Idle Free campaign expand throughout North America and really, really making a difference for future generations.